Hello and welcome to Retro Americana. I'm your host, Jeremy Scott. Okay, for this week, I'm going to do something that I did last week, which is feature some old school TV commercials. And then I got a film. So we're bopping around between the 40s and in the 70s today. So back and forth. So we're going to start off with a film. We're going to start off with a film first. It's from 1945, actually released in January of 1945, and it talks about it shows the growth of the plastic industry. You know, like a lot of new materials and stuff like that, and ways of doing things came as a result of, you know, World War II. You know, the world was at war, and America needed the best of everything that they had to win that war. Because, you know, World War II, I mean, whoever won that was going to rule the world, essentially, or have a pretty big say in the new world order. And fortunately, that was us, the Stars and Stripes, kicking some butt. And, you know, if you watch the show, you know how much I absolutely I love the World War II kids. They were something else. They don't make them like that anymore, and they probably never will. There'll never be a generation like that. So, from 1945, January actually, 1945, it's just called Plastics. Plastics. It's real simple. Plastics. From 1945. Enjoy, and hey, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we've got some TV commercials and some artifacts.
Military weapon becomes tomorrow's peacetime instrument. Plastics will play as large a role in peace as they do in war. Here is a plane containing hundreds of plastic parts. Here another bonded by plastics. This paratrooper floating down to welcome Mother Earth is depending on plastics to get him there safely. His parachute is made of nylon, a plastic. As for plastics in peace, here they are in our homes, augmenting our comforts, serving our needs. When we take to the open road, we find them again in our car. Plastic, plastic, plastic. What are plastics? Are they vegetable or mineral? Would you look for them on land or under it? Perhaps they are in the sea. Are they extracted from the air as nitrogen was at Muscle Shoals, now part of the TVA? Or does the sun produce them as it does chlorophyll in plants? Are they a gift of nature or an invention of man's? And if they are man-made, why bother making them at all unless they improve on nature's handiwork or add to her gifts? The old adage has it that necessity is the mother of invention. Nowhere is this truer than in the field of plastics. For a better understanding of how this modern industry originated, let us turn back the pages of history to 1869 when Grant was made. Ivory, a natural product of elephant tusks, was used at that time to make billiard balls and piano keys. But it was growing too costly. The growing demand, the slaughter of whole herds of elephants in the long haul from the Congo to the States, all these made it necessary to find an available substitute. Now was the time to come to the aid of the grand old pachyderm. By treating cotton letters with nitric acid, just as this chemist is doing, and then adding camphor, John Wesley Hyatt found that the resulting mixture, a gooey semi-liquid substance called a resin, could be molded into permanent shape by heat and pressure. Because it was made from the cellulose in cotton, Hyatt called the new substance celluloid. Originally a cheap, plentiful, and man-made substitute for ivory, celluloid, one of the earliest of plastics, made its way into the manufacture of novelties such as combs, toys, billiard balls, slide rules, and frames for glasses. But it had one serious defect. It could burn. It was not until 1907, another Roosevelt was then in the White House, that a non-inflammable plastic was invented by Dr. Leo Baekeland, to which he gave the name Bakelite. Using essentially the same process, but employing different materials, Dr. Baekeland put together two compounds of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. One, a preserving fluid called formaldehyde, the other, phenol, commonly called carbolic acid. The product of this putting together, or synthesis, is then heated. The waste products are driven off, and the result is a resin which can be molded by heat and pressure to any shape. After it becomes a powdered resin, fillers are added which alter the properties of the basic compound. Of asbestos may make it heat resistant, just the thing for such purposes as insulating, electric iron handles, fire helmets, and trays. Your modern telephone, for example, is a phenolic plastic material and therefore will not burn readily. Perhaps the chemist desires an impact-resistant resin to be used in industry where tough, durable materials are required. Something new, cotton filler, is added. Thus, plastics, which at first were a novelty material, began to take a small but vital part in industry. Plastics are no longer a substitute. For certain purposes, they're better. Now, the dictionary tells us that a plastic is any substance which is capable of being molded. But to the chemist,